I'm sitting in my new one-bedroom apartment in Okotoks, about 30 minutes south of Calgary, watching the Rockies turn pink in the sunset. It's peaceful here, quiet, nothing like the chaos of the past 6 months. My kids think I've lost my mind. My son David told his sister I'm having a mental breakdown. My daughter Michelle actually tried to have me declared mentally incompetent. But here's the thing they don't know yet. I sold our family home in Calgary for $1.2 million, donated $800,000 to the Alberta Cancer Foundation in my late wife's name, and kept $400,000 for myself. What I left them in my safe deposit box isn't what they expected. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me start from the beginning, because the beginning explains everything. My name is Robert, but everyone calls me Bob. I'm 67 years old, and until 6 months ago, I was married to the love of my life for 43 years, Patricia, Patty. She died on a Tuesday morning in March, with me holding her hand, after a 5-year battle with ovarian cancer. Those last 5 years, I became her full-time caregiver. I retired early from my engineering job at age 62 to take care of her. We'd planned to travel Vancouver Island, the Maritimes, maybe even Europe. Instead, I learned how to administer medications, manage feeding tubes, and advocate with doctors. I learned how to help my wife to the bathroom at 3 in the morning. I learned how to hold her while she cried from the pain. Our house in Calgary, in the community of Altadore, was our dream home. We bought it in 1985 for $98,000. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a finished basement, and a backyard where we raised our 2 kids. I built a deck one summer. Patty planted rose bushes that still bloom every June. We painted the kitchen 4 different colors over the years. The last time was cream with sage green accents, Patty's choice. She picked it out 2 years before her diagnosis, running her fingers over paint chips at the hardware store, debating between morning dew and soft linen. After she died, I kept the house exactly as it was. Her reading glasses were still on the nightstand. Her favorite mug, the one that said "World's Best Mum," was still in the cupboard. I'd make coffee every morning in that mug, sit in the sunroom we'd added in 2003, and talk to her. I know that sounds crazy, but it helped. David came by 2 weeks after the funeral. He's 42, works as a financial advisor at one of the big banks downtown, drives a BMW, lives in a new build in Mahogany with his wife Stephanie and their 2 boys, aged 8 and 10. Good kids. I don't see them much. Dad, we need to talk about the house, he said, sitting at the kitchen table where we'd had 1,000 family dinners. What about it? I was making scrambled eggs. Patty always said my scrambled eggs were too dry, but I hadn't figured out how to fix that yet. It's too big for you. You're rattling around in here by yourself. And honestly, with Calgary's real estate market right now, you could get 1.2, maybe 1.3 million for this place. I kept stirring the eggs. I'm aware of the market value. Okay, so, have you thought about what you're going to do? Do? David sighed. That sigh. The one that says he thinks I'm being deliberately obtuse. You can't maintain this house on your own, Dad. The yard work alone. I've been maintaining this house for 39 years. But you're 67 now. And with Mum gone, he paused. Like mentioning her was difficult for him. It probably was. David hadn't visited much during those last 5 years. He was busy. The boys had hockey. Stephanie's parents needed help. There was always something. What are you suggesting? I turned off the stove. I think you should sell. Move into a nice condo. Maybe one of those assisted living places. They have some really nice ones now, Dad. Like the one off McLeod Trail with the assisted living? I stared at him. I'm 67, not 97. I know, but you're alone now. What if something happens? What if you fall? And honestly, you've got all this equity just sitting here. You could sell, split the money between Michelle and me, and still have plenty for yourself. There it was. Split the money. Well, yeah. I mean, Mum and you worked hard for this. We're your kids. It's only fair that we benefit from what you've built. I sat down across from him. Your mother and I built this for us. We raised you here. Paid for your education. Helped you with your house down payment. Remember that $50,000 we gave you in 2008? That was a loan that you never paid back. David's face went red. I offered to pay it back. You said not to worry about it. Because you were my son and you were struggling. But now you're sitting here telling me I should sell my home so you can have the money? That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you don't need a 3-bedroom house. You need something manageable. The money from the sale would secure your future. Our future. Michelle and I have talked about it. You and Michelle have talked about my house? We're worried about you, Dad. You're alone. You're depressed. You're living in the past, keeping everything exactly like Mom left it. That's not healthy. I looked at my son, really looked at him. When did he become this person? This man who looked at his grieving father and saw a liquidation opportunity. Get out, I said quietly. Dad, get out of my house. He left, but he'd be back. I knew that, because David doesn't give up when money's involved. Michelle came by 3 days later. She's my daughter, 38, works as a realtor for one of the high-end firms. She let herself in with the key I'd given her years ago, found me in the garage, organizing Patty's gardening tools. Dad, David called me. He said you two had a fight. We had a conversation. He's just worried about you. We both are. She picked up one of Patty's trowels, turned it over in her hands. This house is too much for you. So I've heard. I could list it for you. I've sold 3 houses on this street in the past year. I know exactly what buyers are looking for. We could stage it, get professional photos, maybe even list it for $1.3 million. The market's strong right now. I'm not selling. Michelle set down the trowel. Dad, be realistic. You're 67 years old. You can't keep up with the yard, the snow removal, the maintenance. What happens when the furnace breaks, or the roof needs replacing? And you're all alone here with Mum's things everywhere. It's like a shrine. It's my home. It was your and Mum's home. But she's gone, and you're holding on to something that doesn't exist anymore. Her voice softened. I miss her too, Dad, but she wouldn't want you living like this. Living like what? Alone. Stuck in the past, not moving forward. She pulled out her phone, started scrolling. I've been looking at condos for you. There's a beautiful 1-bedroom in Bridgeland, 10th floor, mountain views. It's only $350,000. You'd have so much left over from selling this place. You could travel, enjoy your retirement, help out your grandkids with their education. Help out? Well, yeah. Austin and Jake are going to need help with university. And you know how expensive hockey is. And Emma's talking about grad school. Emma, my granddaughter, Michelle's daughter from her first marriage, 19 years old, studying biology at the University of Calgary. She was the only one who visited regularly during Patty's illness. She'd sit with her grandmother, read to her, paint her nails. Patty loved that girl. Emma hasn't asked me for anything, I said, because she's too proud. But she's taking out student loans, Dad. She works part-time at a coffee shop. She's struggling, and you're sitting on over $1 million in equity. I looked at my daughter. She was wearing expensive clothes, designer sunglasses pushed up on her head. She drove a Range Rover. Her house in Mount Royal was worth at least $2 million. If Emma needs help, I'll help her directly. But I'm not selling my house so you can manage my money for me. Michelle's expression changed, hardened. We're not trying to manage your money. We're trying to protect you. From what? From making poor decisions. Dad, you're grieving. You're not thinking clearly. And frankly, some of your behavior lately has been concerning. What behavior? You talk to Mum like she's still here. You keep the house exactly like it was. You barely leave. David said you made eggs in her mug. So? So it's not normal, Dad. We think you might need help. Professional help. And we think the stress of maintaining this house is making it worse. I understood then what was happening. You want to declare me incompetent. No! We want you to get help. And part of that help might be making some practical decisions about your living situation. Get out. Dad, get out of my house. Both of you. Stop coming by. Stop calling. I'll contact you when I'm ready. Michelle left, but not before saying, we're going to do what's best for you, whether you like it or not. That was April. In May, I got a letter from a lawyer. David and Michelle were petitioning for guardianship, claiming I was no longer capable of managing my own affairs. The evidence. I was depressed, isolated, talking to my dead wife, and refusing to make reasonable decisions about my living situation. I hired my own lawyer. Cost me $5,000 just for the initial consultation. She was a sharp woman in her 50s named Catherine Wong. They don't have a strong case, she told me, but they could make your life difficult. Drag this out. Force psychiatric evaluations. It would be expensive and stressful. What do you suggest? Sell the house. Not because they want you to, but on your own terms. Move somewhere they can't claim you need assistance. Show you're capable of managing your own life. I thought about it for 3 days. Walked through every room of that house. Remembered teaching David to ride a bike in the driveway. Michelle's prom photos on the stairs. Patty singing while she cooked in the kitchen. Our bedroom where we'd spent 10,000 nights together. But Catherine was right. The house wasn't Patty. Patty was gone. And my kids had shown me exactly who they were. They saw an asset, an inheritance, not a home, not a father who was still alive and deserving of respect. I called Michelle. You want to list the house? List it. She was thrilled. Oh, Dad, you won't regret this. I'll get the best price, I promise. And we can start looking at condos for you. I've already made appointments at 3 really nice places. No, I'll find my own place. You just sell the house. But Dad, you don't know what to look for. I'm a professional. Let me help you. The only help I need from you is to sell the house fast and for the best price. That's what you do, isn't it? She listed it in June. Had professional stagers come in, packed up all of Patty's things, all our things, put them in storage, painted over the sage green kitchen, replaced our old furniture with modern pieces, took photos that made it look like a different house entirely. It sold in 4 days, 1.2 to 5 million, cash offer. See? Michelle said. Told you. Now, let's talk about how we're going to split this. Split it? Well, after your living expenses and setting aside money for your care, there should be at least $800,000 to split between David and me. 400 each. That seems fair. I stared at her. Fair? Dad, we've been patient. We've been supportive. We've helped you through Mum's death. We deserve something for that. You deserve something for showing up to your mother's funeral? That's not fair. We were there for you. When? When were you there? When your mother was throwing up from chemo? When she couldn't get out of bed? When she begged me to read her favorite book to her for the 100th time because it brought her comfort? Where were you then, Michelle? I had work. I had Emma to take care of. I couldn't just drop everything like you did. I didn't drop everything. I chose. I chose your mother. I chose to be there for her. And now you're standing here telling me you deserve $500,000 for what? For waiting for her to die so you could cash in? Michelle's face went pale. How dare you? We loved Mum. Then act like it. Honor her memory. Don't treat her home like a payday. She left crying. Didn't speak to me for 2 weeks. David called. Dad, Michelle's upset. Look, maybe we came on too strong. We don't need 400,000 each. Just something to help with the kids' education. 200,000 each. That still leaves you 800,000. More than enough for a nice place in your retirement. And if I say no, silence. Then, we'd hate to have to proceed with the guardianship petition. But if you're making irrational financial decisions, we might not have a choice. There it was. The threat. Do what we want, or we'll take away your autonomy. I'll think about it, I said. And I did. I thought about it a lot. I closed on the house July 15th, 1.2 to 5 million in my account. I didn't tell David or Michelle what I was planning. I just did it. I contacted the Alberta Cancer Foundation, made an appointment, told them I wanted to make a donation in my wife's name, $800,000 to fund ovarian cancer research. The woman I met with, her name was Sarah. She actually cried. Mr. Henderson, this is extraordinary. This will fund years of research. We could name a research position after your wife. A fellowship. The Patricia Henderson Cancer Research Fellowship, I said. She was a teacher. She'd like that, helping people learn. I set up the donation to be announced publicly. Made sure it would be in the news. Made sure David and Michelle would find out. Then I went apartment hunting. Found a one-bedroom in Okotoks. Small town, quiet, but still close enough to Calgary if I needed anything. 900 square feet, mountain views, $800 a month. I paid a year up front. I took the remaining $400,000 and set it up carefully. $100,000 in a high-interest savings account for emergencies. $200,000 in a diversified portfolio for retirement income. And $100,000 in a separate account for Emma. Not a trust, not a conditional gift, just a transfer with a note for my granddaughter who showed love without expecting anything in return. I rented a safety deposit box at my bank, put in a letter for David and Michelle, told them where the box was, gave them the key. The letter said, "To David and Michelle, if you're reading this, you've opened the box expecting to find documents about money you think belongs to you. Instead, you found this letter. I sold our family home for $1.2 to $5 million. You know this already. What you don't know is what I did with the money. $800,000 has been donated to the Alberta Cancer Foundation in your mother's name. It will fund the Patricia Henderson Cancer Research Fellowship. Your mother spent 5 years fighting cancer. You spent those 5 years avoiding her. I spent those 5 years caring for her. This donation honors her in a way that matters. The remaining $400,000 is mine. I've set myself up in a small apartment in Okotoks. I'm comfortable. I'm secure. I don't need your help, your management, or your protection. $100,000 of my money has been given to Emma, who earned it through her compassion and kindness during her grandmother's illness. She never asked for anything. That's why she's getting something. You asked me to be reasonable about my money. You threatened me with guardianship. You treated your grief-stricken father like an incompetent child, and your mother's home like an asset to liquidate. I want you to understand something. I don't owe you an inheritance. I don't owe you anything beyond what I've already given: a childhood, an education, a start in life, and love. I gave all of that freely. What you owe me is respect. What you owed your mother was presence. You failed on both counts. If you're angry right now, I understand. But ask yourselves, are you angry because I made poor decisions? Or are you angry because I made decisions that didn't benefit you? I loved your mother for 43 years. I will love her until the day I die. The money I donated in her name will save lives. That matters more than your financial planning. I'm 67 years old. I'm not elderly. I'm not incompetent. I'm not your asset to manage. I'm your father, and I'm finally putting myself first. If you can accept that, we can rebuild our relationship. If you can't, well, I've already lost the most important person in my life. Losing 2 more people who only valued me for my bank account won't hurt as much as you think. The choice is yours. Dad, I mailed them the key 2 weeks after I moved to Okotoks. Didn't wait for their response. I was done waiting. The Alberta Cancer Foundation announced the donation in early August. Made a whole press release. Local news picked it up. Calgary man donates $800,000 in late wife's memory. They interviewed me. Asked about Patricia. I told them about her kindness, her strength, her love of teaching. Didn't mention my kids at all. David called me the day the story ran. 800,000? Are you insane? That was our inheritance. It was my money. You're being manipulated. That foundation probably sweet-talked you into this. We can contest it. We can. You can accept it. That's what you can do. Michelle texted. Didn't even call. Just texted. I hope you're proud of yourself. You've destroyed this family. I didn't respond. But Emma called. Sweet Emma. Grandpa? I just saw the news. The fellowship in Grandma's name. That's beautiful. She'd be so proud. Thank you, sweetheart. And Grandpa, Mom told me you gave me money. $100,000. I can't accept that. It's too much. It's not too much. It's exactly right. Use it for your education. Your future? That's what your grandmother would want. She was crying. Thank you. Thank you so much. I miss her. I miss both of you. You can visit me anytime. I'm only 30 minutes away. I'll make you dinner. Fair warning, my scrambled eggs are still too dry. She laughed through her tears. I'll teach you Grandma's trick, she told me once. You add a splash of milk and take them off the heat before they look done. I wrote that down, taped it to my fridge in my new apartment. It's been 3 months now. David and Michelle haven't contacted me since that first week. I heard through Emma that they're angry, that they're telling people I've been scammed, that I'm not thinking clearly, that the grief made me crazy. Maybe it did. Maybe I am crazy. But I'm also free. I wake up in my small apartment, make coffee. The mountains are right there in my window. Sometimes I still talk to Patty, tell her about my day. I don't think that's crazy. I think that's love. I've started volunteering at the library in Okotoks, Tuesday and Thursday mornings, helping with the children's reading program. Patty would like that. Emma visits every Sunday. We cook together. She's teaching me to make Patty's recipes properly. Last week we made her butter chicken. It actually turned out okay. The Alberta Cancer Foundation sends me updates about the research fellowship. The first, Patricia Henderson Fellow, started in September. A young researcher working on early detection methods. Her name is Dr. Jennifer Tam. She sent me a handwritten note thanking me for making her work possible. I cried reading it. That's what $800,000 can do. It can save lives. It can give hope. It can honor someone who deserved to be honored. What could $400,000 split between David and Michelle have done? Bought them bigger houses? Nicer cars? Paid for hockey camps? I don't regret my choice. Not for a second. Sometimes I wonder if they'll come around, if they'll apologize, if they'll realize that their father is still alive, still here, still worth loving for something other than money. Maybe they will. Emma says Michelle asks about me sometimes, asks if I'm okay, but she hasn't called, hasn't visited. David's more stubborn. Emma says he's still angry, tells people I'm senile, that the foundation took advantage of me. He can't accept that his father made a choice that didn't include him. But that's his problem, not mine. I'm 67 years old. I have $400,000, a comfortable home, a granddaughter who loves me, and the knowledge that I honored my wife in a way that matters. I have my independence, my dignity, my choice. I spent 43 years putting Patty first, 5 years caring for her while she died. I spent 42 years raising my kids, supporting them, helping them build their lives. Now, I'm putting myself first. And if that makes me selfish, if that makes me crazy, if that makes me a bad father, well, I can live with that. What I couldn't live with was letting them bully me, control me, treat me like I was already dead and they were just waiting to divide up the estate. The house in Calgary sold to a young family, 3 kids. The realtor sent me photos after they moved in. They painted the kitchen yellow, put up a swing set in the backyard. There's life there again. Patty would like that. She always said houses should be full of life. This apartment in Okotoks is full of life too. My life. The one I'm choosing to live. I don't know what the future holds. Maybe David and Michelle will come around. Maybe they won't. Maybe I'll reconcile with them. Maybe I won't. But I know this. I'm not their asset. I'm not their retirement plan. I'm not their safety net. I'm their father. And I deserve better than what they were offering. Patty deserved better too. She got a research fellowship that will help people for years to come. That's a legacy worth leaving. The money David and Michelle wanted, that would have been gone in a few years, spent on things they'd forget about, things that don't matter. But every time someone's life is saved because of research funded by the Patricia Henderson Fellowship, every time Dr. Tam makes a discovery, every time a family doesn't have to watch their mother die the way I watched mine, that matters. That's worth more than any inheritance. So yes, I sold our family home for $1.2 to $5 million. I donated most of it to charity. I kept enough for myself to live comfortably and independently. And I gave a gift to the one family member who earned it through love, not expectation. My kids think I'm crazy. They might be right. But I'm free. I'm at peace. And for the first time in 5 years, I'm not drowning in grief. I'm living on my terms, in my own way. And that, I think, is exactly what Patty would have wanted for me.